Okay, guys, this is the Aperiod debate on environmental protection versus economic development. We'll start with Team A. And again, please make sure that you write your notes. I'd like you to close your laptops now, okay? Thank you, as a matter of respect. It's too late to be taking notes or writing your speech now. Okay, that was homework, so let's close it, Victor. Thank you. I think I could, yeah. Make sure you make good eye contact.
Yes, please, guys. Good morning, everyone. So, today our team will discuss the problem of environment and also economical problem. And let's say that nowadays there are two big problems, economical and environmental, and we understand that economical crisis is really important for it's the problem that we need to make a solution for it, but our team's opinion that environmental problem is much more important, and the reason is that without good environment there is no good economy, and we need to understand that this environment we need to keep it safe for our children and for next generation, because we don't want them to live in the bad conditions with all diseases, and in our opinion the environmental problems is on the first place, and after we need to make a solution for economical crises.
Okay, thanks, First and two. I guess it's Elwood.
Yeah, iPhone.
She can answer. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to skip that. So person, actually, I have her speech here. I guess I could do it. All right. People have already lost and destroyed a big amount of our natural resources, including forests, waterways, the soil, and the air. So it's important that we save the earth for our children and our ancestors, descendants. So polluted air and polluted water can cause crop failures, such as the reduction of food production, and then economics in the country will also suffer. Nations lose more because of pollution than they gain from industrialization. For example, in China, for the past 20 years, this country was focusing on economic development, but it's led to serious air and water pollution. It caused health problems to increase in the loss of farmers' crops. So uncontrolled growth has no point if you have no environment. Okay, persons 1 and 2, other team.
Hello. Once Bill Clinton said, "No generation has had the opportunity as we have now to build a global economy that leaves no one behind. It is a wonderful opportunity, but also a profound responsibility." In our opinion, economic development is as important as environmental protection. And economy should not be sacrificed or stopped because of such a global issues such as global warming or other environmental issues. Because considering to human nature, economic growth and development will never stop and should not be stopped, never ever. We believe that global warming and other environmental issues can be solved only by an economy that is supported by modern technology and is newer, cleaner, and is able to protect both human race and environment. However, when you develop something in one place, you have to sacrifice and destroy something else in another place. While creating a product in a factory, we have to sacrifice some primary sources in order to find our raw materials. For instance, we produce chemicals, but the production process produces toxic waste, and just the same for paper products. However, we can use the benefits of the final product to renew our primary sources, and that's the same for economy. We have to sacrifice our natural resources in order to build up a global economy, but we can use that economy to renew that sources. In short, without a global and modern economy, there will be no environment. If you want to go completely clean environment, you have to have a strong economy. Therefore, we shall declare that instead of overlooking modern economy, man should focus on it in order to solve these problems, such as environmental problems.
Okay. Thank you, Person 2.
As you all know, most economical improvements depend on polluting industries. But still, we depend on them to make money. That money could be used to feed millions of starving people. And taking care of millions of people who are starving is more important than the natural resources, because most of them are renewable anyways. We cannot expect the developing nations to show respect to the environment like developed nations. They're fighting every day just to survive and feed themselves. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Imran. Okay, then we go into the first question and answer time. So remember, everyone should participate where possible. So I'll give 1 minute for team A to pose questions to team A. So please pose a question, let them answer and respond.
Can you ask the correct question of the debate?
Yes, is economic development, I have it here, is economic development more important than environmental protection?
They say that economic is
So,
more important.
yes.
So my question is, you said that such as, what did you mean?
Such as environmental protection.
Yes, but you are saying like your team's opinion that economic is more important.
We do not agree that environmental protection is not important. It's one of the most important issues nowadays. But in order to solve this problem, we have to have an economy. There are 7 billion of us over there. The only factor that brings us unity is a global economy. I can act against these problems.
But the environment was fine before human race. Before the human race.
Yes,
trying
but
to make
as
money.
we develop, as human race develops,
Chiba, when you with your team,
it
yeah?
changes
It's a bit
the
confusing.
environment. This is the law of nature.
Yeah, but don't
You're
you think?
changing the world every day.
Don't you think that before like 10,000 years ago, the environment was much better, and when we started to develop in economical and in technological
Yes, it
way,
was much.
environment started to get worse, and what's happening now?
Of course, but believe it or not, nowadays we are a developed race of living organisms. And what do you
Yes,
have to
I
do?
know.
What's your solution? What do you have to do? There are 7 billion of us and we are developed, industrialized. And the only solution is to build a global economy to solve these problems. To use the benefits of that global economy to renew these sources. Or some of them are not renewable, a little of them. We can try, invest on finding renewable sources.
So you don't think that nowadays economy is not that good yet?
I gotta stop you guys. Let's move to team B. You have 1 minute to pose questions to team A.
Firstly, you said that you don't want your children to live with diseases. Well, diseases are completely natural. Diseases happen in the world before the industrialization. You cannot cure diseases with modern technology, and modern technology, it needs the economy.
What's your question, Nikash? You have to ask a question.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't get the question.
Don't you think that diseases
Our natural.
can be cured without an economy?
Nowadays, in my opinion, as we are more industrialized and as we are using more factories and, for example, atomic stations, you remember what's happened in Japan, for example, what happened in Ukraine, in Soviet Union in 80s, when the atomic factory was just destroyed, and what's happened with people, they were just dying there. And no economy could solve this problem.
But overally, in average, the average length of that one human can live has increased significantly. Human beings live much longer now.
But it's gonna end.
Yes, but we're saying that but our opinion is that environment is also important in this.
Yes, it
We're
is
not saying
important,
that we're not saying that that people living more now, living longer. It's
Of
yes,
course
okay.
it is important.
I'm
But you
happy
said
for this, but
you want to cure diseases. You cannot cure diseases without an economy. Diseases have been always in the nature. They are nature. Mutations always occur.
mutations. Yeah, why there are mutations? Because we're more developed
No,
now.
no.
Okay, guys, I gotta stop you.
All
For the sake of time, we gotta move on. So thank
there are many
you,
factors that cause mutations.
thank you, Kashi, thank you, Gena. So I'd encourage the rest of you to participate in the next one. Okay, let's move on to person 3, which is Elza. Elza's written a quote, but has not given any explanation other than the quote. But it's from somebody named Hunter Lovins and Amory Lovins, I guess a couple. It says, if we use resources productively and take to heart the lessons learned from coping with the energy crisis, we face a future confronted only, as Pogo once said, by insurmountable opportunities. The many crises facing us should be seen then as not as threats but as chances to remake the future to serve all human beings. That's all she wrote. Okay.
You really hit the lights.
Should be okay with that. You should be able to see it.
Like,
You want me to make it bigger? There you go.
Is it okay? So this diagram from World Health Organization shows number of the deaths could be attributed to urban air pollution. These colors, the darker purple shows more deaths in the country. And as you can see, dark purples in US and Russia and some other country we call the developed countries. China, this huge country, is also one of those developed countries, and has known for the massive economical development. However, it's also become famous for the serious problem of economical environment pollutions. This diagram shows amounts of okay.
Can you read?
This diagram shows amounts of carbon dioxide emission per million cubic meter from 1980 to 2009 in China. As you can see, it's keep increasing. And in China, hundreds of thousands of people are endangered by serious pollutions. And people paying taxes and working for the country's poor air quality. According to 1997 World Bank report, in China, government returned to impose. If Chinese government refused to impose more powerful and strict anti-pollution laws, waterways will remain heavily polluted, and many people will die or suffer from serious diseases. Thank you.
Thanks, Yuriko. Okay. I think Adil's up next, but she's having some questions. Who's person 4 on your team?
Me.
You. Okay. So we're not going to start with person 4, and we'll come back to Adil when she's ready.
I need you to put my graph.
Okay, you'll have to go up to the computer and find your document. It's on the second tab or the first tab. You see where it says on the second tab at the top?
Yeah, I see.
You should find it there if you put it in there. You just click on the link. Perfect.
Mm.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
I'll make it bigger on the projector if you. Can you move it over a little bit so it's visible? If you drag the window over, it'll be more visible.
Can you make it bigger? A little more?
Can you make it fit? If you push it down a little bit, we can see the question at the top. There we go. It's perfect.
So, is more important environment or economy? The economic development during the last years had allowed us to have better standards of living, like health, better houses, and the economy has risen, so it's been good. In the graph, you can see that the percentage of Americans choosing the environment fell all the way to 42%, and the percentage of choosing the economy jumped to 51%. Before it wasn't like that. They've been doing this graph every year for 25 years, and it always was the opposite side. The Americans chose the environment than the economy. And that's all.
Okay. Thanks, Victor. Who's person 5 on your team? You guys didn't put your name on the document, whoever's person 5. It says something about Hong Kong?
It's Adil.
Adil? Okay. Kashi, can we move on to person 6 on your team? We'll have to come back to Adil because she's Yeah.
My part is designed because first I've got to ask questions.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
So we're asking questions.
Yeah, I guess let's go into the question answer. Well, hopefully he will be back in the next couple of minutes. Okay, go ahead. This team, but I would like people who have not participated in the question answer to ask questions. Okay. So 1 minute, ask questions.
Me? Okay. I have a question about this graph. Like it shows that when the economic growth fell, the environment grew, and is that how it works?
What is it? I mean, what this graph shows, economical
Let's say
improvement.
It shows that in the beginning, environment was higher, really higher than economic, and every year it went down. Environment went down, down, until the point that the economy was better than environment.
I mean, I
What
just
do you mean by better? Like, does it
Like
mean like
people choose prefer economic than environment.
so it's, as I understand, people's opinion. Yeah.
Is this in the US or
Just America, yes.
Okay, but let's say that as I saw on our graph, as Yuriko showed us, the part where it was USA, there is low air pollution. And we could see that in Argentina and Russia and also in countries like Ukraine and Russia, they had really bad air pollution. So, in my opinion, this graph it's logical. So
Okay, guys, I gotta stop you there. Let's move over to Team B. Questions for Team A? Someone who hasn't asked a question yet?
You can ask. I don't know.
Well, according to Eureka's graphs, yes, many countries are polluting the air, and United States, which is the greatest economy by far, has got lower rate of pollution than many other countries. But if your idea is true, and you mean you're right, you have got to stop this pollution, what is your solution for that? You mean, what's your solution for this situation?
I mean, I think economy in the world is good enough to solve this problem.
You mean you have got to stop economy?
Then stop economy.
You mean stop developing it?
I'm not saying that we have to develop it. I'm saying that for a moment, economy is good enough to solve the environmental problems.
You mean you have got to first solve environmental problems, then start economy again? It doesn't make sense, does it?
I didn't say. I said like we have to think about our environment. So economy is good enough. We need to develop. We need to develop our economy. Yes, for sure. We need to make some improvements. But why can't we start to solve right now environmental problems, and after think more about our economy? Why we cannot do this, for example.
Okay, guys, we gotta move on. Let's thank you for that. Again, you have one more question answer. So if you've not asked a question, you get a 0 for the part 2. So I'm urging you to participate and think of a question while people are speaking. Okay, I'm not going to beg, but it's up to you. Okay, let's move on to person 5. So Tavin, I think that's you.
yes?
If you need the graph, go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah.
Is it long for us to ask questions?
No, there's one more chance. So
Oops.
you have to go back to the first tab, your team. Another reason I want you to write your speeches in here, not only so I can read them later to reflect on your message,
What?
it's also so, just refresh the page. It's also so I can see, so in case you are absent, then your team, someone can come and perform your debate, and you can have your graphs ready and everything. So, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll blow it up. You can drag the window to make it fit the screen there. You want to scroll down a little bit, just so we can. There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Oops. This graph shows the environment and the economy for Brazil. As you can see, the dark one is environment, and this is economy. So as you can see, as the economy grew slightly, it caused a huge drop in the environment. And in Brazil, when the environment goes down, that means cutting down trees, like in the Amazon, like rainforest and stuff, something like that. And that causes huge amount of CO2 to form, because the trees absorb CO2 and put out oxygen. So I'm telling you this, that according to this graph, when the economy grew slightly, it caused a huge drop in the environment. And then that small change caused a huge change to the world. The ice caps, they melted, causing floods all over the world. You can see in Bangladesh, people are dying. So, I mean, you can choose. It's either environment or deaths of millions of people. So, I ask you one question. Choose people or your economy. Thank you.
Thanks, Evan. Okay. So when the person 6, I think that's really good. You need more. You need the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you make it fit.
Okay. So, environmental problems are not only about trees, mountains, and animals, but also it's a matter of our death and life. Those dangerous problems have already been affected to people in the world. As I mentioned, in China, hundreds of thousands of people are endangered by serious pollution problems. Moreover, people can die easily from those preventable diseases. Imagine our life in polluted environment. The blue sky is hazy because of the fumes of factories. Water from tap is brown and contains mud and other chemicals which could be cause stomachache or more serious illness. Environment is one of the most important part of our life, and environment and economics are for the citizens. To have good economy, and the workers must be motivated and healthy. Therefore, environmental problems are much important than economical development. Thank you.
Thanks, Yuriko. Okay. Well, I haven't seen a deal, so I think we need to move on. Okay? Person 6.
Well, I would like to start this part with a small metaphor. I still do believe that the best way of governing a community and a country is communism. But I believe that communism doesn't work and will never do so. Why? Because it's against the human nature. Therefore, it's not possible, though practical. In order to be able to provide a reasonable solution for such global issues, we need to think in a realistic way. We are not living in a utopia. And not only we cannot build a utopia, building a utopia is not desirable. Your ideas are all logically justified, but in a utopian country. But because it's against the human nature, it's not practical, though possible. We are not able to stop or sacrifice economic progress. That's our nature. Additionally, we believe that you do not believe in the power of global economy. As I said, we will sacrifice our sources, but we can use those benefits to renew them. As you show, 7 in that graph, whenever economy rises, environment reduces the rate of environment protection. But that's the fact that always happens. We cannot create products with nothing. But our duty is to renew them by the benefits that we achieve by that economic development. Additionally, you talked about some global environmental issues, such as those who are dying in Bangladesh and other places in the world. It is proved that global warming is caused by human activities. But you have to mention nature itself. Many of those happenings as environmental issues are caused naturally due to the geography and the law of nature. Human beings are warming the earth, but they are not powerful enough to cause all those problems. Yes, some of the ice in Greenland and other places are melting, but not all of them are caused by human beings. It's not scientifically proved. Thank you.
Takashi.
No, she's back.
Joe, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. You're up. Need a graph or anything?
Wait, I was the fifth person, so I don't.
I think you were third and fifth, right?
Yeah.
You didn't do three yet. You want to do both your
Can I
questions?
do it? What?
Yeah, do them both right now. Because Kashi went ahead with 3 and 6. And then after I do, we'll go into question and answer. So have your questions ready because we gotta move quick.
Environment or economy? Which one do you think is more important? As a group, we think that economic growth is as important as environmental protection. In such countries like Africa, while poverty takes many children's lives from the world, would it be right to think about environmental protection? Sorry, I can't. How come a nation can have a future if it doesn't even have a present lifetime? Therefore, we as a group believe that economic growth is as important as environmental protection. Okay, yeah, this was my
This is
Third
person 5
person.
now?
yes. Now I'm gonna do the fifth.
Okay.
What we will need more in the future, the economy or the environment? We agree that they're both important features for humanity. Yet, we think that by economic growth, we can also solve the environmental problem. A recent study by Princeton University shows that air pollution increases until the country's capita per ray reaches to $9,000. But as the country gets richer, the air pollution decreases, which shows us that we also need technology in order to solve this problem. And in order to solve this problem, the technology for technology to improve, we need money. For instance, American air and water regulations cost $320 billion today. Until now, we have tried to protect natural resources or environment. Look at Hong Kong. If 50 years ago, if imperial powers wouldn't force people to save natural resources for future, the Hong Kong wouldn't be as polluted as today. So do you think should we still protect environment and slow down the economy?
Thanks, Avery. Okay, let's move on to
I
question.
can't see, sorry.
That's okay. Let's move on to team A. 1 minute to pose questions to team B. We're going to stick by the time.
We have 2 people who didn't ask.
Okay, well, we better get asking then.
So can I ask 2 questions?
You may, if you have 1 minute. So
Okay, so you go first.
Quickly.
Okay. Don't you think don't you think economy is dependent on environment and environment is dependent on nothing?
Economy is dependent on environment, but today, as 7 billion of us human beings live in this world, environment is also dependent on economy. Because without that economy, we cannot save it.
No, but the question.
It was not dependent on human beings 2,000 years ago, but now it is.
Okay, but don't you think that environment is dependent on economy?
It is dependent.
okay, Eureka, I want to give you a chance. You want to ask your question?
Otherwise.
And
Let's-
Kashi, you mentioned this global warming and some of the diseases as caused by naturally, but what about other diseases like the disease in China? It's caused the air pollution created the new diseases. What about them? Do you think?
And
Yeah.
But like
radiation
I
level.
said in my speech, if they would use the natural resources at a time and if they will try to develop the economy by using natural resources, maybe China wouldn't be as polluted as
Yes,
right
course,
now.
first
today. So-
environment.
Okay, guys, let's turn it
That's
around. So
also
team
like the other way around, you know.
Adil, Imre, Victor,
Because
you guys
we
want to ask a
didn't
question?
Use environment.
Okay, Imre, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, thermostat choose environment or deaths of people. But like by choosing economy, you can save many lives.
The
What
question,
you mean?
the question is,
No, can I?
The question is like, why would choosing economy be deaths of people? You can use that money to feed millions of people.
I showed you the graph. Like, because Brazil, they need to cut down trees, you know, for resources and stuff, and that causes global warming, and then melting of ice, and then flooding, you know, and then you can see like all over the world flooding, deaths of people. You can see in Canada, like the mining is so bad, it's causing so much pollution, but you don't hear about it because the government keeps it as a secret.
Okay, guys. Victor, you want to ask one?
Yeah, it's like almost the same question, but like before you say that environment or death of million people, but don't you think that without economic development we have more dead people than non-dead people? Because with economic we have more health development, so you can cure better illness. And we
But
have like
that-
7 billion people.
But that's
already.
only for the rich.
No.
But also,
There is public
For
health.
the poor,
There are
Yeah.
public health.
like the poor countries. I mean, obviously the rich countries they build dams and
but
you know
We do
stuff
not
you
feel
like
know,
that
that.
also you're
today's
talking about
world
global
economy
warming.
is-
To
Yeah.
solve the global warming with the
You need to
new
stop-
technology. No,
You need to
not
stop pollution,
yes.
which
Not
is
only
you're
stop,
cutting
but
down
some
trees.
scientists-
You need
some
to
scientists argues
improve
that it's
technology.
already past the level, so we need to find a new technology. We need to also stop it, but we
Yeah,
need
so
to
you-
also
so
find
how
a
do
you need
new
to stop
technology.
pollution.
In order to stop pollution, we need to improve technology because you cannot solve economy.
technology.
Yes, and
Not
Yeah,
economy,
technology.
not
For
economy.
technology,
can
we
be
need
improved
money.
only by economy.
Economy
Yeah.
is something
Gosh, we
else.
do
We
not
Developing
need money
countries.
to improve
Gosh,
technology.
can
Gosh, we
improve
do not say
only
that we need to
economy.
stop.
And a
Okay,
strong
guys.
economy can improve technology.
Let's finish up with person 7. We may need a couple of extra minutes. So let's move quickly.
Okay.
So I haven't spoken yet. Victor's an 8.
Yeah,
Seven
So-
and 8.
only
In conclusion, I want to say that our opinion is still that environmental problems are more important than economical problems. And also, I want to say that also in the religious way, as I know in the Bible, there are many sayings that we need to think about our next generation, and we don't need to think about about money. And let's say in the world there are a lot of religious people. For example, in Russia, in north part of Russia, everybody thinks about environment and not about the economy. And yeah, maybe they are living poor, but they are living, you know. And imagine if that it could be otherwise. You know, bad pollution and bad environment, bad conditions, children are dying, and it's more important to live, not how to live.
Just
So that's it.
Okay, thanks, Gina. Gina?
it's not ethical to ruin the environment to build a strong economy. Economy is important, but it comes after the environment. Environment can continue existing without an economy, but an economy cannot exist without an environment. Today, people cause a lot of damage to the environment for the purpose of making money without thinking about tomorrow. Because they think they won't be alive to see the serious environmental issues, which shows they have no respect for the next generations and show their selfishness. But they will see the serious issue for sure. If this continues like this, we cannot just ruin the environment and leave it to our next generations like that, which is morally not right. I will give a quote from a Native American. Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, Only after the last fish has been caught, only then you will find that money cannot be eaten. So, humanity needs to find a way to balance economy and environment before it gets too late.
Okay, let's move on to person 7 and 8, please. I see, Emery, you're person 8. I don't know who
You're
person 7 is. Is that you? Okay, let's get up there because we've only got about 3 minutes.
So the 7 is just a summary of what I said, no? So like economic development is like it's same. Like now more people prefer economic than environment. That's in America, and that's because they realize that with economic you have better things, you live better, and you can probably save more lives than with environment. Because you have better health, a better living, and it's just better. So that's why nowadays people prefer economic than environment. So.
Okay. Emery?
Pollution is directly affected by economical growth, but why should we let millions of people starve to death for resources which are renewable? We should firstly think about the economical growth and feed people and make undeveloped countries develop, and then go green globally. And the only factor that let us achieve that is the economy. Thank you.
Okay. Alright guys, I'm not quite finished. If you give me just 1 minute, I want to give you your journals, which are due tomorrow. And it's in Power School, and it's the same thing we've done every other debate.
Like comments on
Oh no, is it not recording?